Hey, this is Al from Tilton's Heritage Pastures. I'm on my way over to see Rick on his homestead, Healing Field Farms. Rick's got a great story. He's the one that encouraged me to do YouTube videos. And we're going to go check out to see what he's got going on. Rick has done the 100-day challenge, which was incredible. Came out really good, and he's got quite a few followers on YouTube. So let's see what he's got going on today, and stay tuned. Okay, we're going to go check out to see what Rick's got going on here. I know he's doing some hay and getting prepared for winter. Let's see what he's got to say. What do you got going on?
I just built my new roof for my hay. Now I'm moving my 175 bales over there.
Nice.
So that the cows can use the barn over the winter.
Nice. Alright, hey, this is Al and Rick. We're over at Healing Field Farms, and we're going to take a walk through and see what Rick's got going on, and hear a little bit about his story and the struggles that they've been through, and where they're going in the future. So let's get into it. So Rick, tell us about your homestead story. I know you mentioned real quick about the house and all, and what you guys got going on, but
I used to work for a large retailer, and I was working 70, 80 hours a week all the time, and Sarah was working her full-time job, and then a lot of times part-time job and stuff like that, and we were doing that just to pay the bills. And we watch a lot of YouTube, like Justin Rhodes and Cold Shaw Farm and stuff like that. And we're just sitting there one night and like, why are we living the way we're living? Why aren't we living like that? So we started looking for land, and we found this piece. We came up in the winter of 2020. It had 4 feet of snow on the ground. We only knew what the field looked like from pictures, but we wanted it, so we bought it. Our plan wasn't to move up here until our children were done high school, and then we were going to come up. So we had about a 4-year window that we thought that we were going to slowly build everything and this and that. But I think God might have had some other plans, because where we were renting, the owners of the house that rented it to us, they both got COVID, and they decided that they were going to start selling stuff and move closer to their kids, and they put our house up for sale, and it sold in 2 weeks. So we waited till our oldest children, we had 2 graduating that year, and they graduated in June, and then we moved it right up here. We found an apartment close by, and we lived there, and then I was here 8 hours a day working on building stuff, and then going to work 8 hours a day.
So you bought the property.
Yep.
Right? And then you ordered the house?
Yep. So
and they just dropped it in, and
yep.
So what kind of prep did you have to do? And
so we bought the property, and then the same people that we bought the property from also does some construction, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they put in a gray water system for us, and then the pad of the house, and then we got the shed from the Amish up northern Maine, and they financed all of it. So, and then our payments are low, like much lower than they were renting, and we're sitting on just under 4 acres of land. That's all ours. And then the house just came as a shell, and we painted the outside. Sarah's dad did all the electrical, I did all the carpentry, and half the plumbing out, because it's just not an area of expertise for me. And we had a lot of other things going on, so it made more sense just to hire that. And we just got a well in this year, so we did go up the year lugging water. challenging thing up here. It's a lot of work, hauling 8 to 10 buckets every single day, filling a tank, and then taking your showers and stuff. But
So what size is the dimensions on the
so our house is 14 by 36.
Okay.
It's one floor. We have 2 bedrooms, an office, and then a living room kitchen area. But Sarah and I were actually discussing, we don't really use the living room that much, and we're just going to make a bigger kitchen because it makes more sense when we're canning and freezing stuff. So it makes more sense to have that room. And then the plan is, if not next year, the following year, for sure, we're going to build a 3-season porch off the back side of the house, which will give us more room in the sitting area and all that. So, hi goats.
We're getting a visitor over here.
That's Bo.
What's up, Bo?
Yeah, Mr. Bojangles.
What you doing there, Bo? Look at you scratched.
He's a full-blood Nubian. And that's Juniper. She's a full-blood Nubian. And this one here is Mabel, and she's a full-blood Sainan. And she's the queen. She also wanted nothing to do with us when we first got her. She didn't like people touching her or nothing. But no, she's very friendly. But she's bossy. She's the queen.
So 14 by 36, that seems like a common size.
Mm-hmm.
We see a lot in actually, on our place. So we call it Tilton Heritage Pastures because, we have a fairly large family and the boys are older, grown, and they've actually looked at the same size, the 14 by 36.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like,
So this is
it's definitely doable, but I think that's one of the questions that people have is like, they say 14 by 36, I could never make that work, but you guys have made it work, and
right.
you've been super successful at doing it.
Three of us living in there, me, Sarah, and my son. And then he has like an 8 by 8 bedroom. We have, our bedroom is about 8 by 10, and then the rest of it is our office. The other 4 by 6 or 4 by 8, so it is our office. And then our kitchen, living room area, which is still in progress. We've still got to get a new stove, and we're building a bar and all that stuff. So,
but it's definitely doable.
Oh yeah.
Well, what kind of the last year has been a lot of challenges. I've seen what you've been through, and we've talked about a lot of the different challenges from electricity, heating, plumbing, and just basic water supply. So what's some of the advice that you could give if somebody wanted to do exactly what you've done and start homesteading? What would be the advice?
So definitely some planning. Try living in a small space before you decide you're going to do that. Get some tape and go mark it out on a driveway somewhere, and kind of draw it out and stand in it and get a feel for the space, because 14 by 36 is a good size, and it's very doable for 3 people. I mean, we have full-size appliances. We have 2 refrigerators in there, a freezer. We got a 8-foot countertop and a sink. Really, the only room in the house that's kind of cramped is our bathroom. We should have gone with a stand-up shower versus a tub. Overall, it cost us about, when it's finished, it'll be about $22,000 altogether. And we haven't taken, other than the financing of the shell, we've been paying as we go and doing it, and no rush. It's livable. It's what we need. So
yeah, $22,000. I mean, that's totally doable. Would you, like, if somebody had say that amount of money in a retirement, like an IRA or a 401k or something like that, would you recommend them taking that and investing in that? And
absolutely. That would be, if you don't, especially when you get older, you may be living check to check, or a monthly your Social Security or something. We don't want to be in that position where we have bills and all that. That's why why we're doing all this. We're raising our own food. We're working on turning it over into a business, and we'll be in different aspects of that over the next couple of years between farm stand, and we'll be doing farmers markets, and we'll be raising pigs, and we'll be selling baby goats and all that. So as well as goat milk. Sarah makes a bunch of stuff with essential oils and goat milk and all that kind of stuff.
So you came in, you bought the land.
Yep.
You made plans. You got the house.
Mm-hmm.
You built the house. You know, some of those struggles were electrical, plumbing,
Right.
Heating,
Right.
probably cooling, right? And you've made it work on a 14 by 36 and 4 acres of land, which is great. So now, you know, you're getting use out of every square inch of your property.
Start at your own pace. Don't try to do it all at once. You know, we got a lot done in 6 months and really 100 days. I mean, we have all these animals. We built the coop. We set up the barn. We did the shelters. We did all the pens. We did the garden. We did the farm stand. We did all that in 100 days. So easily doable. We lucked out. Our neighbor said, "Hey, we got a barn. We're not going to use it. You're more than welcome to it." And we went over, took it down, brought it back here, and me and Sarah set it up. And I'm actually emptying it out right now because it's full of hay. And then the cows will be in there for the winter. So, you know, buy your land. I mean, if you want to do a tiny house or a shed conversion or that, it's the cheaper way to go. If you buy this big expensive house, all your money's going to that mortgage for the next 30 years. And then if you live through your prime, now you're almost in a retirement home or, you know, whatever. So our house is going to be paid off in 3 years and we're done. So this actually, that part of it will be paid off this December, January. But there was a 3-year term on the loan. So.
All right, Rick. So what are the enterprises that you guys are really capitalizing on right now?
Okay. So Sarah and I both still work full-time jobs, and then we're working on running this farm and building it up. So she does, she recently did the fair, and she does craft shows, and she'll set up if we have farmers market here, where she makes salves and lotions and candles and some bath bombs type stuff and all that with essential oils. And she does pretty decent on that. That's more of her you know, drive. That's what she really loves, the essential oils and that. So that's part of it. But a lot of what we're working on has a longer return. So we got the goats. We do plan on selling, you know, some babies, not all. We're going to build the herd bigger. Hopefully we'll have a herd of about 20 to 25 when we're done. And then we'll breed every year. And our goal is to have purebred Nubians and maybe another breed altogether. And then we'll also have the milk that we can sell and use to make lotions and soaps and stuff like that. Then we have the pigs, which these pigs here are our freezer pigs. Alright, so these are my pigs. This one here is Bits. She's a female. And this one here is Bacon. He's a male. I will cut on his ear there. Get you some salve. And I got them in May. So it'll be about 6 months, the end of October. And then they'll be heading to freezer camp. So they're good pigs. Very friendly. You get right in here, pet them, play with them. They got a ball.
So you got them in this paddock. How long have they been in the paddock?
They've been in here a week Sunday.
A week? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a week. So about a week and a half now. Yep. And this is going to be, like I said before, we're going to have a pumpkin patch in here. We may even do some trellises for squash and cucumbers and stuff like that. So on the wire about 2 weeks in their pen before we moved them out, and then we brought them out here. We had one little mishap. They ended up in the cow pasture.
Oh boy.
Because we have that lower wire for the cows. I was hoping that was going to be enough, and it was not. And they slid right under it, but there was no issue. They were playing with the cows, everything else. So didn't freak out. Just took us a while to get them back in.
So have you had any challenges with your pigs this year?
These two, not really. The female took a long time to really get her to warm up to people. Just very, very, very skittish. Bacon, not so long. Once we got in there and got his ear scratched, he knew that we were going to be his best friend. So he was fine with it, but it took her a little while longer. I've only got out once, and that was because my wife left the gate open. And they were little. We got them right back in. And that's why we got two. You don't want your pig to be lonely, and then if they are, they're going to try to find a way out so that they can find some company. So it is definitely always better to get two. And then, we're not going to eat two. We're going to eat one. We made a deal with our butcher, who's also our neighbor, and he's going to take the other one for butchering that one, so it works out well.
Good deal.
Yeah, and they're cleaning all this up, tilling it good, fertilizing it.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a great job. You're happy, aren't you? Happy piggies.
We've been laying out here, and then Bacon, the black one, he goes in the pen, just face first, right in the mud puddle. Just covered with mud. Buddy. Hey, Ken.
Hi.
Hi, bitch. Hey, bitch. Sole purpose they were raised. Next year we're going to get into breeding pigs. Not sure what breed yet. Kind of leaning towards Berkshire, but we'll see. And then our cows, dual purpose. So one of them will end up sending to freezer camp. The other one, obviously she's a female, so we'll calf her out probably twice, and then we'll sell off the calf. But hi. So this one's June. She's a female, Jersey Angus cross, and this one over here is a Jersey cross, and his name's Johnny, or full-blood Jersey, and his name's Johnny. And they're about 6 months old right now. So we got them when they're about 6 weeks. So, yeah, and they've grown quite a bit just in the last month.
Yeah, she's looking pretty healthy.
Yep. I love the cows. They're probably my favorite.
You looking healthy?
Go in with
Yeah? You doing good?
What are you doing, Judy?
She's like, who are you, stranger?
So that's what we're doing with them. And then our chickens are mostly just for eggs, and we'll be utilizing them more at the farm stand next year. We'll be getting a lot more chickens. We started with 12, we got another 10, and then we had some varmint problem that kind of wiped out a few of them. And then we do have guinea hens, and we have talked about hatching out eggs in the spring, if we can find them, because they don't just nest, they lay their eggs wherever they want and then scatter for the day. So they may be laying them across the street at the neighbors because they visit there every day. With our garden, is really, that's more my love, the growing of vegetables and stuff. So the garden we have now, we have taken everything for ourselves this year. So we did bring in 5 yards of compost. We worked into our soil here. We worked it into the soil with the sunflowers and some other various areas throughout. When we started, we tilled the garden, and it was just dust. The dirt, you could scoop it up and it would just blow out of your hand. So just over this season, it has started to really turn the way it needs to with the microorganisms from the compost. We've been harvesting now for like 4 weeks, heavy. cucumbers, tomatoes, zucchini, squash. We did pull some lettuce. We got more tomatoes than anything, and it's coming up. It's coming pretty well. Our corn didn't do so well. Our green beans did okay. We got a lot of green beans for that small area. So, but the corn needed more nutrients than what was in the soil, and next year. But that's part of the plan that we're using the pigs for. So the pigs have had a pen up there, and we'll show you that. And that's where the corn's going to go next year, and that should grow much better. Where they are now, they're tilling, and that's going to be a pumpkin patch for next year. And then once they clear up that area, they're going to come down to the garden and help clean this up, as well as fertilize it and till it and all that for us. So next year the soil will be all that much better. So that garden next year will be just for the farmers market, and we're actually going to have another garden and a few raised beds that'll just be for us. So we'll be selling carrots, squash, zucchini, tomatoes, cucumbers. We'll be getting into lettuce. We don't know if we're going to keep that stand or eventually do like a little shop, like a store type thing. We're kind of back and forth, and it'll depend how things fall in the spring. Next year we'll definitely be a little more prepared for the farmers market. But we will have the farm stand open next year full time. We are going to put in a few greenhouses in this area, either late fall or early spring next year, and then we'll have this all open. We'll have cut flowers. We'll get an earlier start on our vegetables and all that, so that we have more to sell. So we are going to put in the pumpkin patch, which will dual purpose. The pigs can eat them. Sarah also makes a lot of our own dog food, and they can eat pumpkin. It's really good for the dogs. And then we'll have some to sell as well. And then we like to experiment. We're going to try some trellises next year. We didn't do that this year. We did do some weird container garden stuff with like 2x4 wire for potatoes and stuff, and that's on our YouTube channel. And it's fun just experimenting and learning. But like I said, we knew the soil wasn't where it needed to be, and it was going to take a lot of work. And it's going to take a couple years for it to really, really be what it needs to be. And that's part of the purpose of the animals. It's dual purpose. They're going to help us get the fields back to the way they should be, and healthy and full of nutrition. And then, we'll feed them too. And then we do have blueberry bushes in. We're going to put in more blackberry bushes. So eventually, down the road, it'll be a few years, but we'll be selling berries as well. So.
Excellent.
First year that we've had our farm, and in the spring we did our 100-day homestead challenge, which we did for a couple reasons. Number one, we wanted to challenge ourselves to see how much we could accomplish in 100 days, and another one is that we wanted to show people that maybe are sitting at home and don't know where to start, or don't think that they can do it. And we wanted to show them that it was a viable option, and that you could absolutely do it. And it takes a lot of hard work, but we started with just a field. And right behind me, this is the first year of our sunflower bed. All these sunflowers are grown just to give the farm a nice look, but at the same time, it's to feed the chickens. So we're not just growing feed for ourselves; we're growing feed for our animals. And Al's doing the same thing at his farm for his pigs. He's growing his own food for his pigs, and that's what we're doing for our chickens.
Plant. So, are you doing you do a lot of vegetables? Are you doing more of a till or a no-till, or what?
So
I know you had to add nutrient to the garden.
So we do a little bit of both. We did some no-till potatoes, and then we did some container garden potatoes and 2x4 wire, which came out okay. I think we ended up with 5 more pounds than we planted. So first year trying it, and it came out good. And then most of that, yeah, that's all tilled. And yeah, we're trying to rejuvenate the soil and bring it back. And we know it'll take a few years, and we knew that going in, that this was going to be the most challenging as far as building the garden up. But you can see it's pretty green, it's growing pretty well. We're still getting vegetables out of it every single day. You know, squash and zucchini, cucumbers, a lot of them coming to an end, but we even replanted some things. We replanted some cucumbers and spinach, which has all come up really well. So, and the beginning of the year, we lost a lot of our cucumbers. The soil just wasn't right, and we've replanted in that same spot now with adding the compost and the rain and everything, and it's taken off. So it's doing well.
It's good.
We had plans to build this. We didn't think we were going to build it this fast, and you know, we're glad we did though. I mean, it's been a crazy year. So, and we're so much happier. It's more peaceful here. I mean, really the only disturbance you ever get is a big logging truck going by, but other than that, you know, it's quiet. Everybody up here is friendly, neighborly, and it's just a beautiful area to live. And then we've got, you know, the pigs and the cows and the goats. We got chickens, we got guinea hens, we got bunnies. Next year we'll have more bunnies, and we'll have more goats as well.